You ever wonder why the smallest things hit you so hard? Like, why a passing comment from a stranger can stick in your mind for days, or why crowded places leave you feeling completely drained? Most people shrug it off, but not you. For you, it's like the world's volume is cranked all the way up, every emotion, every sound, every moment feels amplified. And let's be real, it's exhausting. But here's the kicker, you're not broken. Hypersensitivity isn't a flaw, even though it probably feels that way sometimes. You've likely been told to stop overthinking or toughen up, but deep down, you know it's not that simple. This isn't just about emotions, it's about how you're wired. The question is, what if there's a way to make sense of it all? In this video, we're diving into the truth behind why you feel everything so intensely. We'll explore what hypersensitivity really is, what's causing it, and, most importantly, how you can not just cope with it, but turn it into your greatest strength. Because let's face it, ignoring it hasn't worked, and wishing it away won't either. So, what's the alternative? Stick with me, and we'll figure it out together. Understanding hypersensitivity. Have you ever felt like the world is just too much sometimes? That's hypersensitivity in action. It's not just about being too emotional or dramatic, it's about how your brain processes everything around you, like it's turned up to maximum volume. Imagine walking into a room and instantly picking up on the energy, the smells, the noise, and even the emotions of everyone there. For someone with hypersensitivity, that's not a rare experience, it's daily life. Sounds familiar? So, what exactly is going on? Hypersensitivity isn't a flaw, it's like having an overtuned radar for life. While most people filter out certain stimuli, a hypersensitive person feels it all. Maybe it's the constant hum of the air conditioner that no one else notices, or that one offhand comment someone made 2 weeks ago that's still replaying in your head. It's not that they're trying to overthink, it's just how their brain is wired. This heightened awareness can show up in all kinds of ways. For some, it might be getting overwhelmed in crowds or needing extra downtime after a busy day. For others, it's feeling deeply connected to art, music, or even a good book. It's not always about the negatives, hypersensitivity can make life richer, too. Think about the last time a beautiful sunset nearly brought you to tears or a kind word made your whole day. That's part of the package, and it's worth celebrating. But let's be real, it's not all sunsets and symphonies. Hypersensitivity can also make the world feel exhausting. And here's the kicker, most people around you probably don't get it. They'll tell you to toughen up or stop overreacting. Sound familiar? Don't worry, there's a lot more to unpack, especially when it comes to why you feel this way. Root causes of hypersensitivity. Hypersensitivity doesn't just show up out of nowhere, there's always a backstory. For some, it's written in their DNA. If your mom, dad, or even grandparents were extra sensitive to their surroundings, chances are you've inherited that trait. It's like getting a family recipe for a superpowered nervous system. But genetics is just one piece of the puzzle. Your unique experiences and personality shape how that sensitivity plays out in your life. Trauma, for instance, has a way of turning the dial up on sensitivity. If you've gone through tough experiences, maybe childhood neglect, emotional hurt, or even a chaotic home environment, your brain might have learned to stay on high alert to keep you safe. It's like your body is saying, better safe than sorry, even when the danger's long gone. That's why certain smells, sounds, or situations can feel overwhelming. Your brain's trying to protect you, even if it overdoes it sometimes. But it's not always about trauma. For some people, it's just their natural ability to empathize that sets them apart. They don't just see someone crying, they feel it like it's happening to them. That heightened empathy is beautiful but can be draining if you're constantly soaking up the emotions of everyone around you. Have you ever left a conversation feeling emotionally wiped out? That's empathy in overdrive. It's a mix of nature and nurture, and no two people are the same. But understanding these root causes is powerful. It's like shining a light on why you feel the way you do, instead of just labeling it as too much. And the more you understand, the more you can take control. But wait, knowing where this comes from is just the start. The real question is, how does it show up in your life, and what can you do about it? Challenges hypersensitivity brings. Living with hypersensitivity can feel like walking a tightrope. Every step requires balance, and one wrong move can throw you off. One of the toughest parts? Emotional exhaustion. When you're constantly absorbing the energy around you, it's no wonder you feel drained by the end of the day. Even something as simple as a loud office or a crowded grocery store can leave you feeling like you've run a marathon. Sound familiar? Another big challenge is overthinking. Hypersensitive folks don't just experience things, they analyze them from every angle. A short text from a friend that says, "We need to talk," can spiral into hours of mental gymnastics. Did I do something wrong? Are they upset? What could this mean? It's exhausting. And while that level of introspection can lead to some amazing insights, it can also trap you in a loop of worry. Then there's the struggle of setting boundaries. Hypersensitive people often find it hard to say no, whether it's to a friend asking for help or a coworker dumping extra tasks on your plate. Why? Because you feel guilty or don't want to let anyone down. But here's the kicker, constantly putting others first leaves you with little energy for yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup, right? These challenges are real, but they don't have to control your life. The key is recognizing them and finding ways to manage. Because, let's face it, the world isn't going to suddenly get quieter or less demanding. But what if I told you there are strategies to handle all this, and even thrive? Practical strategies to cope. Managing hypersensitivity doesn't mean shutting it off, it's about learning to work with it instead of against it. One of the best tools in your toolbox? Mindfulness. It's like giving your brain a break from the constant chatter. Try this, the next time you feel overwhelmed, pause and take 5 slow breaths. Focus on the feeling of air entering and leaving your body. Sounds simple, but it works. It's all about bringing yourself back to the present moment, where stress has less power. Another game changer is grounding exercises. When life feels chaotic, grounding helps you reconnect with the here and now. A popular method is the 5-4-3-2-1 technique. Name 5 things you can see, 4 you can touch, 3 you can hear, 2 you can smell, and 1 you can taste. It's like hitting the reset button on your mind. Whether you're at work or in the middle of a crowded space, this trick can help you regain control fast. Building emotional resilience is also key. Start by creating routines that prioritize your well-being. For instance, set aside 15 minutes a day for journaling. Write about your thoughts, feelings, or even what you're grateful for. Journaling isn't just about venting, it's about understanding yourself better. Pair that with regular exercise, like a brisk walk or yoga, and you'll start noticing a difference in how you handle stress. Lastly, don't underestimate the power of saying no. It's not selfish, it's self-care. Practice it in small ways, like declining a social event when you're already feeling drained. It's about protecting your energy so you can show up fully for the things that matter most. And here's the beauty of these strategies, the more you use them, the more you'll realize that hypersensitivity doesn't have to feel like a burden. In fact, it might just be your superpower waiting to shine. Turning sensitivity into a strength. What if being hypersensitive wasn't something to fix, but something to embrace? Think about it, sensitivity allows you to connect with the world on a deeper level. It's why you notice the little things, the way a friend's voice changes when they're upset, or the subtle beauty in a quiet morning. These are gifts, not flaws. The key is learning to channel this awareness into something meaningful. Start by leaning into empathy, one of the greatest strengths of sensitivity. Use it to strengthen your relationships. For example, when someone you care about is struggling, your ability to truly feel their pain makes you an incredible support system. But here's the trick, balance empathy with boundaries. You can be there for others without losing yourself in their emotions. Think of it like wearing an emotional raincoat. you're present, but you stay dry. Sensitivity also gives you an edge in creativity. Many hypersensitive people thrive in fields like art, writing, music, or even problem-solving because they see the world differently. If you've ever had a flood of ideas during a quiet moment, you know what I mean. Don't shy away from expressing yourself. Whether it's painting, starting a blog, or even designing a cozy, peaceful space at home, let your sensitivity guide you to create something beautiful. And here's the ultimate shift: start seeing your sensitivity as a source of strength, not weakness. When you embrace it, you open the door to growth. Instead of asking, "Why am I like this?" try asking, "How can I use this to grow?" The answers might surprise you. And once you start to see the power in your sensitivity, you'll never look at it the same way again. Speaking of growth, there's one more step to really make this transformation stick. Here's the thing: hypersensitivity doesn't have to control your life. You've got the tools now: mindfulness, grounding exercises, boundaries, and self-compassion, to take charge and start living on your terms. But knowledge is only half the battle. The real transformation happens when you put it into action. So, what's your first move? Will you take 5 minutes today to breathe and reset? Will you start journaling, or finally say no to that thing draining your energy? Think about how different your life could be if you embraced your sensitivity instead of fighting it. How much deeper could your relationships go? How much more could you create, connect, and thrive? This is your chance to turn something that feels overwhelming into your superpower. So, what's stopping you? And hey, this journey doesn't have to stop here. If this video hit home for you, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. That way, you'll never miss another step in learning how to create a healthier, more balanced life. Together, we'll keep digging into topics like this, unlocking the potential you didn't even know you had. Let's make this journey one of growth, discovery, and, most importantly, healing.